Well, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone this morning. We want to begin with Mike Schoenhofer, the Director of Mental Health and Recovery Services Board for Allen, Auglaize, and Hardin counties. Just read your shirt.
Read off the shirt.
Yes.
You've got it.
And Mike's here to talk about an award that's going to be
Yes.
given.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Well, I've had a personal life goal of never getting involved with child support enforcement. Just a personal, that's the last thing in my life I want to do is, be involved with child support enforcement. And here I am finding myself deeply involved with child support enforcement. And actually, happy to announce that a program that was begun by Coleman, Child Support Enforcement, and Jobs and Family Services is winning a national award. And it's targeted to men who have failed over multiple years to provide for their families and kids. And what's amazing is that these women, who I'm going to bring up here in a minute, they started out and they talked about this and said, we want to help these guys get back on their feet. And I said, okay, but who they picked were the guys who owed over $1 million worth of back child support enforcement. So this is not the easy end of the list. They started at the tough end of the list and have worked with these guys and are on track this year to double the amount of money that the guys paid in last year, which was $31,000, double that amount this year, paying child support for their families. And that's awesome. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And so they are going next week to Milwaukee to receive a national award for the work they do on this innovative project. So if it's all right, Mayor?
Please.
I want to bring up Tammy Cologne, who's the Chief Officer of Coleman, Lisa Merkel, who's the Director of Child Support Enforcement, and Marilyn Horstman from Jobs and Family Services, and Sandy Montfort, just because she's wearing a sparkly blouse.
So who's going to take the lead?
Lisa.
I'll draw the short straw
Okay,
this
very good.
morning. Good morning. I'm Lisa Merkel from the Child Support Agency here in Lima. As Mike said, the CSEA here in Allen County will be receiving a national award from NCIA, the National Child Support Enforcement Association, in Milwaukee next week. That award is for collaboration between a child support agency and other agency or other county partners. A couple years ago, I had the opportunity to attend what is called Open Gate, that is part of or put on by the Mental Health Recovery Services Board. Sandy Montfort was leading the discussion and had all these agencies coming up and giving their little speech about what their agency does for people in our community. And as I sat there and listened, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't know that we had all these services available in our county. So after the meeting, I kind of backed Sandy into a corner and said, oh my gosh, we really could use about 6 or 8 of the services that are provided here in our community. How do I get a hold of these people? How do we sit down and see how we can form a group to work with our fathers that are having very difficult times maintaining employment, getting a job due to a felony or multiple other issues that are keeping them from full-time employment. So she says, well, let me hook you up with Tammy Cologne, who is the CEO of Coleman, and let's see if we can't have a discussion. That kind of turned into what we now call the FACT program. That program is a collaboration of the Mental Health Recovery and Services Board, Coleman Behavioral Health, the Ridge Project, which offers fatherhood classes to our gentlemen. LACA is on board and helps with lots of needs that our clients have. The Department of Job and Family Services on the benefits side, as well as Ohio Means Jobs that work with our guys and offer classes for workforce development. And all of these people came together with basically no funding, no grant money. And we sat down at the table and we worked to figure out a way to offer this program and offer these services for the fathers in our community that were struggling to maintain employment, see their kids. And it has been a huge success. I was under, if we could get one gentleman employed, working, visiting with his kids, paying his support every week, to me that was a win. We have got multiple people in good full-time jobs at Ford, Dana, Eagle Rail Car, and a lot of places, and it's just been phenomenal. And I can't thank these people enough.
Terrific. Tammy?
Well, the role that Coleman Behavioral Health plays is helping our community actually heal and get healthier. Because while there's child enforcement responsibilities and there's the Department of Job and Family Services whose goal is to get people employed, our goal was really to reach out to individuals who we knew were challenged due to a mental illness, an addiction, life circumstances, bad choices, and a lot of judgment and prejudice against them, and really help them work through the system, stand behind them. These gentlemen were not what oftentimes are considered, deadbeat dads. They were wonderful men who wanted to take care of their family, who just didn't know how to navigate through the challenges. And so in helping them, we hope that we're helping generations forward, and that will stop some of this cycle of mental illness and abuse. And that's the role that we play in this project.
Marilyn Horstman from Job and Family Services. And our role is, as Tammy says, to help folks reach self-sufficiency. We do have benefits that are available, and in the Ohio Means Jobs Job Center, we offer what we call a 3-week course. The reality is it's really 4, because we have a week of pre-OWIP that you go through beforehand. And I tell everyone that that program is about 50% personal development and 50% learning the skills to get a job. And our folks aren't always that interested in going through a 3-week class when they start out, but our staff will tell you at about day 2, they've kind of bought in. And our success rate with the majority of the people coming from the child support referred folks through the FACT program is about 71% of the folks that go through our program. And let me say that these are folks with multiple barriers to employment, many times, most all of them felony convictions. 71% get a job, and 63 or 4% are keeping those jobs. And I think our numbers, actually those numbers are a couple of months old. I think they're actually higher than that now. So kudos to the guys that go through the program, are very interested and want a job, and most have been able to achieve that. So that's our role.
Sammy?
I didn't expect that. Thank you, Mayor. Honestly, it has to go back initially to Mike and the Mental Health Recovery Services Board. They bought into the idea of open gate. Some agencies came together, 3 are standing behind me, and because they did, we had a conversation, and that conversation turned into a collaboration in such a different manner. The gentlemen we deal with, in fact, run into more barriers and obstacles than anybody in this room, myself included, can understand. The judgment and the prejudice is real. Quite honestly, you pay for your crime when you come home, not when you're in prison. And because of that, you had to have some openness to believe that there was a possibility for these men to begin to believe again, that they could begin to stop calling themselves an ex-offender or a felon. They could actually go by a first name. And because of that, especially Tammy and Lisa, having the conversation at Open Gate that Mike backed and believed in, allowed the dialogue to happen. We did run into some barriers. We did pursue some funding initially because we had an idea and nothing. And we got turned down. Not once, we got turned down twice. You know what? That's nothing compared to what these gentlemen have gone through. These men are responsible and reliable employees and fathers. They've been involved with their kids' lives, many of them for years, in different ways that don't count. They've learned now how the rest of us have to move through channels and responsibilities to do things a productive way. And because of that, they're proud to say who they are, they're proud of their children, and they're proud of the work ethic. To the best of my knowledge this moment, and I'll stop with this point, any gentleman that I know of in the FACT program, because I call them gentlemen because they are, they've worked very hard. You've got the references of CEOs for employment. When these gentlemen have received employment, to the best of my knowledge at this point, none of them have been let go for non-attendance, for lateness, or testing for drug use. None of them, to my knowledge. They're reliable and they're moving forward. Matter of fact, one company that gave an opportunity for our gentlemen in the FACT program to apply and they got hired, just within the last 2 weeks, another person went to put in an application, and the first thing the employer asked was, "Are you from the FACT program?" He said yes. They set him down for an interview right away because the reputation that they created with these men, you can count on them to not only be fathers, they're good workers and bettering our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, the national award is presented when? Monday. So travel safely.
Thank you.
And congratulations. It's a great story, and you well deserve it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually, in addition to what has just been described with FACT, there is a huge effort underway locally that is called Link Lima, which is a terrific collaboration among a wide-ranging set of stakeholders, all focused on getting employers linked with employees. And we've got an economy that's growing. It's a good problem to have, which is finding folks that are without employment or who are underemployed, helping them solve the barriers that they have. Could be transportation, it could be drug involvements, it could be the issues relating to prior felonies. All those kinds of things get in the way of people being able to sustain their work, and the benefit of that is obviously just goes on from the standpoint of individuals who become really solid people, but also taxpayers and people that take care of their children and their responsibilities. So that's a great story to tell, and congratulations. Secondly, this morning, we have representatives here from Activate Allen County, Kayla Monfort and Lori Nestor from the WIC program. Ladies, come up. We have a proclamation that I want to issue. And this is all in the context of Activate Allen County, of course, is about the idea. Come over. Is about the whole idea of promoting healthy living, and that begins with babies. And one of the most important ways that we can promote the health of our babies is with breastfeeding. So in that context, I'm here pleased to present the following proclamation. Whereas the residents of Ohio are deserving of good health throughout their lives and exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of newborn life, as recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics, provides the best possible start to life in all areas of development. And whereas the health benefits of breastfeeding for an infant include a reduced risk of obesity later in life, reduced risk of sudden infant death syndrome, fewer ear and respiratory infections, a reduced risk of developing both juvenile and type 2 diabetes, and an average increase of 6 points in IQ at the age of 6. And whereas mothers also receive benefits from exclusive breastfeeding that last a lifetime. Specifically, the longer that mothers breastfeed, the lower their BMI, blood pressure, triglycerides, waist circumference, and LDL cholesterol. Longer duration of breastfeeding also lowers mothers' risk of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. And finally, new evidence shows that mothers who exclusively breastfeed have a lower risk of depression. And whereas a 2010 study published in Pediatrics found that if 90% of new mothers breastfed, the U.S. would save $13 billion per year in health care costs and prevent more than 900 deaths annually. Breastfeeding also protects the environment by decreasing energy used to process formula and dispose of container waste. And whereas, despite these benefits, the CDC 2012 breastfeeding report card found that only 62% of Ohio babies are fed any breast milk, and only 11% of these babies are breastfed exclusively for 6 months as recommended. And whereas the Surgeon General has issued a call to action to support breastfeeding, which in part focuses on the need for communities to increase societal support for breastfeeding. Now, therefore, I, David J. Berger, Mayor of the City of Lima, do hereby proclaim August 2015 as Breastfeeding Awareness Month in our community, and urge all citizens to join me in encouraging and supporting breastfeeding. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Lima, this day of August 2015. So, ladies,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any comments?
Sure, we'll have comments.
Actually, internationally, they celebrate World Breastfeeding Week, the first August 1 through 7 every year, and the focus this year is on breastfeeding in the workplace and employment and ways that employers can be more friendly to breastfeeding mothers and help, make arrangements. It's already law that moms are provided with a place to pump and time to pump, but trying to increase that. Actually, the news this morning was that Netflix has increased their family leave kind of unlimited. Like in the first year, parents can take whatever time they need during that first year. Even that's the family leave is a kind of another hot topic that's circulating nationally that ties in. In the United States and in Ohio, we celebrate Breastfeeding Awareness Month to give the whole month of August some attention. And WIC's focus also is on employers, but also recognizing that everybody in the community can help make this work. And it is an important public health practice initiative that affects all of us and our healthcare dollars. Lots of ways breastfeeding can have an impact. In Lima, we didn't coordinate who was going to say what here. On Saturday at Farote Park at the splash pad, La Leche League, which is a mother-led support group, is having a family picnic from 10:30 to 1. Anybody's welcome to come and join us. We'll have some kids' activities. There will be some pictures being taken for some other projects that will be happening later in the year. And Activate Allen County and WIC and La Leche League have been kind of talking together about things that we're doing in the community so that we're not duplicating things.
I'll just say a few things. First of all, congratulations to the folks here in the back. Another collaboration that's working, and we're seeing a lot more of that in Lima, Allen County. I think that's perfect. Just working with WIC in collaboration with Activate Allen County and all that's involved with those people as well. We're just seeing a lot of good things happening here in the county, so I'm excited about what you guys are doing as well. So, of course, Breastfeeding Month promotion awareness. We're also doing a community baby shower towards the end of the month, August 22nd, and we have flyers for both both the Faroe Park event and the community baby shower in the back there if anyone's interested in wanting a flyer for that. So we're working with corporations and businesses, organizations, and right now a lot with the hospitals to promote breastfeeding here in the county and how we can increase that awareness and making that a really available and strong choice for moms to make as far as getting the education to the OB offices in our hospitals to really incorporate that in our OB care more so here in the near future. So we're really excited about what's going on with breastfeeding here in the county, and we will continue our collaborative efforts. And we thank you, Mayor, for the proclamation. And we, if there's any questions or any things that you need help with or assistance with, please feel free to ask either Lori or myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, this morning, Rick Stolle, the Parks Director and our primary liaison with the Lima Locos, is here. We had some excitement last evening, and we want to celebrate that a little bit.
Terrific.
Rick?
Thank you, Mayor. Certainly would like to congratulate the Lima Locos 215 Great Lakes Collegiate League champions. With us today, we have members of the team and the organization here. So I think that just a little bit of background. This year, I think the team went 28-7 regular season, 4-1 in the playoffs. to give us a record of 32-8. If someone were to ask you how, yes, congratulations. If someone were to ask you, how do you play a baseball season in a community that absorbs over 23 inches of rain in less than 10 weeks, you guys can answer that question. If someone is to ask you how you win a league championship in the same situation, you can answer that question. And a lot of that, I think, comes from the way the organization is put together and the collaboration efforts of the coaching staff with the ownership and with the players who were held together somehow 3 or 4 days without playing. I mean, you got to understand what that, if you're not around coaching, you're not around kids and trying to keep them focused and do the things they need to do, you don't understand the amount of effort and tenacity that the kids have to have, the players have to have, but the staff and the passion of the organization has to have. So I'd like to bring them up right now. Coach, you guys want to come on up and, when you think about this, this is this is the fourth title that the Locos have won. It's the second one. Come on right around, guys. The second one since moving into the city, and it's the first championship that the Locos organization has actually captured on their home field at Simmons Field. All those great things. Before I bring up the coaches, I would like to ask the players to give you guys a little sample of who's been living in your community the last 10 to 12 weeks, where these gentlemen come from. Ask them to give them their name and what college they're playing at and what hometown they hail from, and let them give you a little bit of a background. Obviously, the whole team is not here. Some folks actually had to head back last night. Some of them are on planes and in cars traveling back to their communities today, but this is a sample of the group that's here today. So why don't we start with these guys, and then we'll bring the coaches up. So
I'm Hunter Williams. I play at Tulane University. It's in New Orleans. I'm from West Monroe, Louisiana. So, I came a long way up here, and it's been a great summer.
Where are you going to school?
Tulane.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Very good.
My name is Travis Edgar. I go to Butler Community College and right outside of Wichita, Kansas, and I'm a pitcher, and I'm from Colorado.
I'm Drew Faintage. I go to the University of Central Florida in Orlando, and I'm from Tallahassee, Florida.
I'm Colin Stolley. I'm from Lima, Ohio, and I go to Ohio Wesleyan University.
I'm Isaiah Montoya, and I go to Butler Community College with Travis Edgar, and I'm from Colorado as well. And yeah.
Stay hot, yeah. I'm Tyler Anderson. I go to Bowling Green State University, and I'm from Lima, Ohio.
I'm Michael Bonifay. I go to North Greenville University. I'm from a little place called Pofftown, North Carolina. This is my second summer in Lima. I've really enjoyed it. Town's a great area, so.
all right, everyone's been up. We would like to ask Coach, why don't you come up, Coach Schadensberger, and introduce your staff and a little bit about some of the guys that weren't here as far as your coaching staff, and then we'll wrap things up and with a few words.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my name is Chad Ernsberger. I'm actually from Kalida, so I'm kind of local here. It's my third year coaching the Locos, and I tell you what, I mean, the support we get here in the city of Lima and with all the fans, it's incredible. If any of you saw pictures or highlights on the news, you saw the crowds we've had this whole season, and especially in the playoffs. And I tell you, it's truly remarkable. I mean, like I said, this is a small sample here, right here. We have 30 guys on the team, and I think every one of them want to come back next year. And obviously, it helps when you win, but they enjoyed their time here in Lima. The way they get treated here, just the whole organization is first class. And I think that says more than anything when players want to come back and travel from long ways. We've got guys from California, Florida, Georgia, Texas, one from University of Washington. Guys are coming from all over the country, and you're basically asking them to give up their entire summers to come to a faraway place called Lima, Ohio that they've probably never heard of, but they fall in love with the place. And I said, Michael here, been here 2 years from North Carolina. I'm guessing you've never heard of Lima before you came here. And and he loves it here. I mean, if he could come back next year, I'm sure he would like to do that as well. But unfortunately for us, he'll be graduating, so he won't be able to come back. But I mean, it really is. I want to thank the whole city for everything they've done, and just again, the whole city, all the fans, the whole organization is just so thankful for everything that happens. I can't get a good staff like I have and good players without the support of the community. So I do want to bring up one of my assistant coaches. His name is Matt Rao. I will let him kind of give a little about himself.
Hello, my name is Matt Rao, and first of all, I'd like to thank Chad for bringing me along for the ride this year, because it was truly a great summer. From Putnam County as well, Fort Jennings area. What we have here is a great group of kids. We was talking about the 23 inches of rain and the 15 postponements. If anybody knows anything about sports, it's all about repetition. You get in a groove and you stay in it. We never got into a groove, and these young men back here were able to find a way to come to the ballpark every 3 or 4 days when I had a chance and still play like they've been playing every day. So there's a lot to be said about these young guys. And the last thing I'd like to say was a couple weeks ago we were down for the All-Star game in Cincinnati, and I was talking with a coach for one of the other teams in the league, and he was asking me about how you guys dealing with all these rainouts up there. I said, well, a lot of people might not think the rainouts are good. I said, but I think what they're doing is they're bringing our team together, because every one of those off days, the kids were at bowling alleys or at movie theaters. They were in Cincinnati or Cleveland going to a ball game, or at Cedar Point. This group of guys here come to Lima not knowing each other, and they're all going home friends. And the coach that I was talking to from one of the other organizations said, man, our team's not anything like that. So this group of guys back here is something special.
Just to wrap up, this doesn't happen without the support of the community, without the support of the mayor, and of course City Council being able to do some of the things we're doing at Simmons Field to help rejuvenate a facility that quite honestly has been an icon in the city of Lima. And when the city got ownership of this facility about 10 years ago, we started doing some things, and one of the prime things was to move the Locos back into Lima. And procure, a facility that was going to be, one of the facilities that needed, obviously it needed some attention, and we're in the process of doing that, but making it a place that's safe and an enjoyable place for young men to come from all over the country and play. I certainly also want to thank the fans and the host families that these guys live with throughout the community. It's something to give up your home for 10 to 12 weeks. But you know what? It's a piece of cake when you get these quality young men that come into the community and want to be a part of it. And as Chad said, get out and go do things in the community, and you don't have to worry about them when they're out in the community. They're always thinking about the team, the organization, and the community that they're residing in. A lot of respect that I've found. We've been hosting for about 8-10 years now, and we're very pleased to continue to do that. The final thing, I guess, I'd like to thank the players and you guys that come in, bring a lot of memories to a lot of people. The city of Lima, it's a great recreational opportunity for the community to get out. Simmons Field was the Locos averaged a little over 800-900 people, somewhere between 800 and 900 people at home games this year. That's a great recreational opportunity for the Lima community, and for you guys to provide that entertainment on a nightly basis, and the talk around town is what's the score, what's going on if they're on the road, and people want to know, and they're paying attention, and they don't do that with just anybody. You've earned their respect, and the community comes out to support that. So, thank you for that, guys. We really do appreciate this. This community appreciates it year in and year out, and it's very exciting when the end of May rolls around and people start talking, when are the boys coming in? And that's something special for this community. It's something special for a lot of folks in and around Lima. So hopefully this memory of your stay here with us is a pleasant one, and that, as Chad said, that hopefully that if you're willing and you're able to come back, that opportunity exists, that you'll think about Lima, and no matter where you go in the future, you always remember what Lima is and was about. So thank you all very much. Mayor?
Why don't you step up and show the trophy a little bit?
All right.
So the Locos are on there how often?
This year will be the 4th time.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Since 1987, I think, when the Locos first got in the league, they played out the branch, then moved to out Shawnee,
High School.
and have been in Lima now since 2008. I think it was our first season at Simmons
That
Field.
sounds right, yeah. Yep. Mr. Mayor, I brought with us today the game ball from last night that we would like to give to you as a thank you for all the support you've given us over the years, and especially this year, like Rick said, with all the improvements to the field and just everything you've done for us.
Great. Thank you very much. Have everybody sign it.
Terrific.
So, how many Lima residents? I know that 2 are here, but over the years, how many Lima?
Over the years, I would say the average is probably 4 to 5 a summer. We keep it, that's kind of low, just because we want to bring in as many people as possible to experience Lima. We like to, I guess, spread the wealth, you could say, that, like I said, just to get as many schools represented and as many states and as many kids here as possible. So
Terrific.
You know, what's great, Mayor, is that some of these guys will go back to their communities or go back to their colleges, and as you've seen in the past, it starts kind of a pipeline of if the school had a player come up here and enjoy the opportunity, it kind of opens up other opportunities for other kids from the same school or from schools within their conference. So it truly is amazing that, you know, you get this from all over the country, and they come in and spend 10 or 12 weeks and go back and talk about Lima and the experience. It really is a unique situation.
And who else is going to be graduating?
Just the old
Michael,
guy.
I guess, this year.
I'm the old man this year.
And what are you going to graduate in?
Social studies education.
Social studies education. And you hope to become a?
High school history teacher.
Oh, terrific. Great to know that. So, well, thank you all. Congratulations on a great season. Great to have you here. Thank you. And we'll break down for interviews. Thank you.